What's up, friends? I am John Caveman, and I'm super excited to announce that the Lifted Tahoe is back. In this video, I'll talk about where it's been, why it's been gone so long, and some upcoming mods that I've already got here and ready to go as soon as I get some time. If you're new to the channel and not familiar with the Tahoe, you should check out my $2,900 beater to beast video. Just a rundown on how the Tahoe got to where it is now. I'll include a link at the end of this video. So just before the pandemic, I drove the Tahoe from New Jersey to Southern California, Palm Springs. I had planned on doing some overlanding out there and made a couple of videos for that. But then the pandemic happened and kind of just changed all of our plans. We ended up selling the condo, sold the Ford F-150 that I had parked out there. Both the Tahoe and my Striker motorcycle just sat out there in storage for like over 2 years. I got multiple quotes on having the Tahoe shipped back to me in New Jersey, but they were like $4,500 plus, right? Like the Tahoe is tall, you know, it's over 7 and almost 8 feet tall. So having it shipped across the country was gonna be really expensive. So I just left it in storage and it sat there rotting for like 2 years, which completely was breaking my heart, but I didn't have better options until just a few weeks ago. I found myself with some extra time off. So I just bought a ticket, a one-way flight out to Palm Springs. I flew out there, picked up the Tahoe and the Striker, and I drove 2,700 miles back to New Jersey in just over 3.5 days. So that was quite a trip, but I'm back and I wasn't even home before I had started ordering new mods. Alright guys, next I'm going to get into the list of mods, but first, check out this awesome 3-ton big wheel jack that just arrived today. I was looking at the Pro Eagle Kratos, which is a great jack, but it's like 600 bucks. Found this one, it's pretty much the same thing for 400. It's going to come in really handy when I go to do some of these mods, like the brake upgrade and the 3-inch body lift. I'm super stoked, but let's get to the mods. So I've got so many new mods lined up, almost too many to list, that I decided to keep this list to just the ones that have already arrived at my house and are ready to be installed. I'm going to be doing all of the installs myself, and I'll make an individual video about each one. But in this video, I'll just describe the mods and explain why I'm doing them. So 2002 Tahoes are notorious for having subpar brakes. The pedal feels a little bit squishy, and also there's just not a whole lot of stopping power, especially with big wheels and tires like I have, where you have so much rotating mass. The brakes just don't instill a lot of confidence. And one of the reasons for this is that this Tahoe uses vacuum boost instead of Hydroboost. Basically, the brakes are assisted by the vacuum force from the engine instead of hydraulic force from the power steering pump. So my first mod is to swap out the vacuum boost with Hydroboost. And for good measure, while I'm at it, I went ahead and replaced the power steering pump too. It's a 20-year-old vehicle, just figured I would start with some brand new parts. And I'm not stopping there. That mod should make the brake feel firmer and have more authority, but I'm also going to increase the surface area on the rotors. You might be familiar with a common mod for these GMT 800s, which is to go with the next GMT 900 brake setup using 2007 and newer brake rotors and calipers, which gives you more surface. But there's now even another mod, which is to use a brake rotor and caliper off of a 2021 Silverado. I believe it's a 13.5-inch rotor with a lot more rotor space than the stock ones for my Tahoe, and also the 4-piston calipers that came with those rotors. It's a direct bolt-on, so I went ahead and ordered these Ray Bestos Element 3 rotors and 4-piston calipers, and they are ready to go. I think I'm going to go ahead and do the Hydroboost and the power steering pump and the swap of the brakes and the rotors and calipers all at the same time, and I'll probably be doing that within the next couple of weeks, so expect that video relatively soon. The next mod is a high-output MECHMAN 240 amp alternator. I have a lot of equipment connected to the Tahoe, Viper Smart Start with GPS locator, front and rear cameras, and I'm just always dealing with battery problems. So I'm looking for ways to keep those batteries charged while the Tahoe is turned off and to charge them efficiently while it's running. You know, as I mentioned before, this is a 20-year-old vehicle, so my overall goal is just to upgrade the entire electrical system, starting with the heart, which is the alternator. Now, full disclosure, the video you're watching right now, I've actually been working on for literally over a month. I've just been so busy with work and life and things getting in the way. Plus, I had a travel itch a few weeks ago, and with no notice, I just bought a one-way ticket to Alaska and flew out there and spent 2 weeks working and exploring in Alaska. So that put this whole thing on hold. So I've actually already installed the MECHMAN alternator, and I took plenty of footage of that. As soon as I get some time, I'm gonna go ahead and cut that footage together, and I'll have a video for you for the MECHMAN alternator install. But so far so good. That thing has a ton of power. It's a definite upgrade, and I'm really happy with it. Stay tuned for that video, maybe in a few days. So the next mod is a little ridiculous, but that's kind of the name of the game for the Tahoe. It's over the top ridiculous. I don't want a sleeper. I'm going for the opposite of sleeper. I'm going for conspicuous. So if you've been following the channel at all, you know that I originally lifted the Tahoe 4 inches and had 33-inch tires on it, and man, lifts are like tattoos. Once you go once, you have to go again, and then you have to just keep going. So I started off with 4 inches lift and 33-inch tires. A year later, I switched out the 4-inch lift for a 6-inch lift. I went from 33 to 35-inch tires, and now I've got my eye on this wheel tire combo that's just frigging amazing. I'm going smaller on the wheels, 17-inch rims, 38-inch tires, and it's just badass. But I don't think it'll fit my Tahoe at the moment, so I need to crank it up a little bit more in order to fit this combo. So I bought this Zone 3-inch body lift. This is on the list. Hopefully within the next month or two, I'll have this lift on there and ready for 38s. The next mod is to replace my side mirrors. So I've had these big tow mirrors on the Tahoe for a couple of years now, and I've never been really happy with the way it looks, which is why I never bothered leveling them. You know, you can see they kind of angle up a little bit and it looks a little bit strange, but I never bothered to fix it because I never really liked the look of the mirrors at all. I want to mention that these mirrors are great for utility. They provide awesome visibility, and I really like the integrated turn signal lights in the mirrors as well as the valet lights that come on when you open the door. The function of the mirrors is awesome, but I just don't like the way they look, and I never have. So I bought these rigid reflect UTV mirrors, which are much smaller, and I just think they look badass. I'm really excited about these mirrors. Of course, these are not a direct bolt-on. I'm gonna have to do some fabrication to make them fit, but I'm up for the challenge. I'm excited for this mod. It's here, ready to go. By sometime in December, I'm hoping to work on this and get you guys a video. I'm excited about how this is gonna turn out. If you've been following the channel, you've probably heard me talk about the ride quality in the Tahoe. It's just a little bit too stiff, a little bit too firm. My wife doesn't like riding in it with me. And I think that's pretty common of lifted trucks. They tend to be rough, but there must be a better way. And now that I've become LSX Matt's biggest fan, if you haven't checked out his channel, it's awesome. Go check it out. He's got a Trans Am build and an awesome Tahoe build. He's got some of the same goals that I do. Check out his channel, it's awesome. But basically, I have to copy everything he does now. He's got this video where he deletes his torsion bars and he goes with these upgraded coilover shocks. And the second I saw that, I was like, yes, that is what I need. And of course, I'm right here in New Jersey. So I hit up Atomic Fab and Performance, and I talked to Richard out there, and he was just totally cool and totally helpful, and set me up with these Viking coilover shocks. A little bit of modifications are going to be required, a little bit of sawing on the frame, a little bit of drilling, but nothing too intensive. And of course, these are adjustable, which is great. It'll give me a chance to tweak them, dial them in, and really try to get the ride right where I want it, so the wife will ride with me again. This should be a pretty big upgrade over the stock torsion keys and bars because the torsion setup doesn't allow for progressive spring rates, which results in the ride often feeling either too stiff or too soft. These coilover shocks will allow for a better fine-tuning of the ride experience. And of course, I will make a video for that install, so stay tuned for that. That mod will probably be in line after I do the brake overhaul. God, I love Palm Springs. My heart belongs in the desert. So next we have the cooling fan. Some older Tahoes, including my 2002, shipped with a clutch fan. That is a fan that's connected to the serpentine belt, so it just spins with the motor. The problem with this is, first of all, it takes horsepower from the motor. It saps energy from the crankshaft, using that energy to turn the fan. Also, it means that when your Tahoe is idling, the fan is going to be spinning at the lowest RPM, which if it's hot outside and you're like sitting in traffic, it's just not as good for performance. So a common mod is just to take some electric fans from a newer model Tahoe and pretty much just swap it out. As far as the form factor, it's a direct bolt-in. No modifications are needed to the Tahoe itself. Slight modification is needed for wiring. You need a harness, which you can make at home, or they sell them on eBay for like $30. It's basically just the connector and some relays and some wire. So these are the fans. I got these on eBay. I think they were about $120. You can just go down to a local tuner shop and have them flash your ECU with the settings, but I wanted to do it myself. And I'm a software engineer, but I'm a Mac user only. So I actually went out and bought a cheap Black Friday Asus laptop just for the Tahoe. And I bought the HP Tuners MPVI3 interface. This will allow me to change the settings myself, flash the ECU, and complete the upgrade without any third-party assistance. My hope is to gain maybe 1 or 2 horsepower back, better performance in traffic conditions, and the biggest thing I didn't even mention yet is room. The clutch fan just takes up a crap load of room under the hood. Once you install these, it just opens that space up, and there's so much more room to work and to install other mods. So definitely worth it, I think. Tahoe horn, it sounds broken. It doesn't sound good. It sounds kind of puny for the size of the vehicle. It doesn't really match. I'm not really into air horns. They're just a little bit too obnoxious for me. I want something that's not ignorable, right, but not completely obnoxious. I did a lot of research on all different kinds of horns, and despite all of the aftermarket options out there, still the best one that I could find for me that I like for the Tahoe is the classic 4-note Cadillac horn. I got this on eBay. I think it was like 120 bucks. But it's, I mean, as the name implies, 4-note Cadillac horn. It's not actually one horn; it's 4 horns. So you've got 4 guys like this. Yeah, each one is a horn that blares at a different note, and they all go at the same time. It just sounds imposing. Yeah, this is another quick mod. Super excited to get this one installed, and I think it'll match the Tahoe well. So one thing I want to mention is that I don't think they make these horns anymore. When I was a kid growing up in Tennessee, and I first started driving, you know, age 16, 17, we were driving Cadillacs. My brother and I had like Cadillac DeVilles from the 70s, and these were the horns that they had in them. I tried to find newer models, but I just can't find them. So if I'm wrong, if someone happens to know that I'm wrong, please let me know. I would love to know if there are new horns like this, but at the moment I haven't been able to find them. So this is a horn off of eBay. It's obviously used. I appreciate that the seller took the time to paint these to make them look fresh, but I mean, if you look inside here, you can still see the rust. These are still old rusty horns. But you know, I need to test it. So I decided to rig up this experiment here and just see what we got. So you're gonna go on this adventure with me. We're gonna find out right now if this thing works. I don't know, let's see how it turns out. Holy crap, that is so loud. Yeah, that is exactly what I was looking for. I'm glad that it works, so hell yeah. So the next mod is going to be a quick and easy one, and it's almost silly how excited I am about this one, but it's this insulation on the bottom side of the hood. You can just see mine. It's just ugly looking and tattered and just looking like crap all around, and the light doesn't work, which is why I have this unplugged right now. This light just doesn't work at all. So I bought a new insulation pad, and it's got the Chevy logo on it. It just looks awesome, and to go with it, I went ahead and bought 3 LED lights. Probably going to mount one like along the side here, and then one right here, so 3 to just be plenty bright whenever I'm working under here. But it's the details, man. It's all about the details. Once I get all of that stuff wrapped up, I'll make a video of my new clean, tidy hood and engine bay. But that actually segues really nicely into the final mod on this list, which is, last and not least, the Billet battery terminal kit from SDHQ Off-Road. So I got this idea actually when I was installing the alternator and just looking at the crappy battery terminals and how ragged they looked. So now I've got these super shitty battery terminal connectors. And it just occurred to me there must be a better solution to clean this up, so I did some searching and I found it, and it's already arrived. I've got it right here ready to install, so this is gonna go a long way to really clean up the engine bay and tidy up all those ragged cables. If you haven't seen my Beater to Beast video, be sure to check that out. There's a link right here. It's a bit of a prequel to show you how the Tahoe got where it is today. So I've got at least 9 new videos coming up, one for each mod featured in this video. If you'd like to support me and join the Lifted Tahoe fam, click the like button, click the subscribe button. It really helps me out a lot. Do you want to be featured in one of my upcoming videos? Just shoot an email to shoutouts@johncaveman.com. As a huge thank you for all of your support, I'm going to feature you in my upcoming videos.
What's up, Lifted Tahoe fans? John Katsiros from Roanoke, Virginia. Roll Tide.
Lifted Tahoe fam shoutouts coming soon. And another big shout out to LSX Matt for giving me permission to use some clips from his channel. Link to his channel right here. And until next time, thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.